After 12 years of trying to find common ground, I wonder, is it time to move on? My partner's messy habits and unresolved debt clash with my goals. After hearing my cousin's wedding speeches, I can't help but feel stifled. Could the life I want truly begin without her? Truly, thank you to anyone who reads my essay and provides advice. TLDR, both of us are 33 years old, have been together for 12 years, and have lived together for 7 years. We do not have children, own a house, or are married. We attempted couples counseling and managed to attend 10 sessions, but ultimately it did not go well. She is burdened by years of debt and needs therapy before we can begin a real life together. I have been working tirelessly to save for the future, but she is more short-sighted and disapproves of my long hours at work. I feel constrained by numerous differences: food preferences, travel interests, sexual compatibility, music taste, cooking styles, cleanliness standards, and my future being delayed due to this person, etc. Some of these issues I have identified over the years, while others only became apparent to me recently. Neither of us is happy with the current situation. In recent months, we have talked about separating, which has been initiated by both sides. Is it time for me to pursue the life I desire while I still have the chance? My partner and I have been together for 12 years, and I am trying to determine if it is worthwhile to continue our relationship. We do not have children, assets together, or a marriage. We have been cohabiting for approximately the last 7 years. We face many recurring issues. For example, she tends to become very messy when she is stressed, which is the case 90% of the time. I grew up with a mother who was a hoarder, so this behavior creates a lot of friction. Even when things are calm, she can be quite messy due to her attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Additionally, her mother exhibited explosive and abusive anger issues, which have left her unable to effectively cope with even minor amounts of anger or frustration from me, further exacerbating most of our disagreements. Financial and work-related disagreements frequently arise as well. She earns a good salary but still has over $100,000 in student debt, which will take her an additional 3 to 5 years to pay off. While I earn significantly less than she does, I am debt-free. We have always split expenses evenly despite her higher income, but I felt this arrangement was fair considering her debts and my lack of financial burdens. Recently, she has been spending her own money on a near-daily basis for items from Amazon and dining out frequently. She insisted, in an ultimatum-like manner for her mental health, that we take a couple of trips together. The last trip occurred while she was on stress leave from work. She later described that trip as a complete waste of money and stated that she could not relax at all. Meanwhile, I am desperately trying to save for a house before the market experiences another upswing. I have been eating 2 frozen meals a day, working 7 days a week whenever possible, and cutting my phone bill. She dislikes that I prioritize work so heavily, and this often leads to arguments. During her stress leave, I had to cover our rent, expenses, and even some of her debt payments. Without my overtime during that time, we would not have managed. She asked me to keep track of items like rent that she wanted to reimburse me for, but later claimed that I was nickeling and dimming her, despite my only recording expenses at her request. It felt insulting, remembering that for the first 7 years of our relationship, I never focused on money while I paid for nearly everything when she did not drive. Regarding children, she has stated that she does want them, yet in the next conversation she will express uncertainty about whether she will ever want children. She has nieces, and I genuinely believe she is content with that situation. Our travel interests do not align. She is not as adventurous or open to different places as I am. We once went to an all-inclusive resort that we selected for its youthful and party atmosphere, but she preferred to read, and the activities I wanted to pursue did not materialize. She avoided going to any parties due to feeling tired, and while I wanted to dine at a steakhouse, she is vegetarian. In terms of intimacy, our sex life has dwindled to infrequent acts of duty sex. She usually struggles to orgasm and has not become aroused for years, most likely throughout the majority of our relationship, if I'm being honest. She has attributed this to her mental health medications. I have consistently felt sexually restricted with her, as there are many things she is not willing to try, even the most basic activities. I have attempted to discuss this topic with her, but it remains sensitive due to her childhood experiences. I feel stifled. I cannot enjoy many of the foods, films, music, travel experiences, and sexual activities that I wish I could share with a partner. One aspect related to sex that preoccupies my mind more than ever is my growing resentment over feeling constrained and disinterested in our intimacy. At times, memories of hurtful things she has said in the past replay in my mind. She often reacts harshly during arguments, saying things like, "I would never have children with you," or "You do not love me," etc. We sought couples counseling, but eventually ceased our sessions after we argued throughout an entire appointment, which led the therapist to suggest at a subsequent visit that she did not believe there was much she could do for us. She indicated that she thinks we have a fundamental mismatch in our goals, as I am focused on purchasing a house while my girlfriend prefers that I work less and is comfortable with that happening someday. It feels as though my life is passing me by with this person. If she becomes debt-free by the age of 37, perhaps I can have enough money saved on my own for us to buy a house. Would I then be looking at starting a family at age 40 after some travel and settling down? Even then, I have doubts about how raising children would affect her mental health. I have supported her through numerous mental health challenges and career crises, including a previous suicide attempt, years ago, during which I abandoned my university exams and traveled hours to be by her side in the hospital. I feel emotionally exhausted. She currently attends therapy sessions once a week or more and claims she has realized that most of her issues trace back to her mother, but she says it will take her years to sort through everything. With her debt and mental health journey still ahead of her, I do not know how much longer I can hold on. When can I begin living the life I want? It is truly heartbreaking and selfish to admit, but I feel as though she is holding me back. We have had discussions about the possibility of splitting up in recent months. Recently, she spent a week house-sitting, and the first conversation she initiated upon her return was that she had been reflecting and thought perhaps we should not continue our relationship. I attended my cousin's wedding in December. We are the same age. He ended a long-term relationship, found his soulmate, traveled a bit, purchased a house, welcomed a pregnancy, and got married, all within about 2 years. The speeches given by his best man and the master of ceremonies resonated deeply with me, emphasizing how quickly life can progress when you find the right partner. I wonder if it is time for me to move on. That is. I appreciate the constructive criticism from people regarding my failure to include positive aspects, and I apologize for coming across as a complete jerk. I suppose I became overwhelmed while sharing the things I needed to express. However, there are indeed reasons I remain with her. We share many wonderful memories, and she has become like family to me. We enjoy some similar interests, such as certain music and television shows, and we like taking walks together to feed geese. She is always supportive of me and wants me to succeed. She will always have my back. We both adore animals and share our lives with a couple of cats. Despite our recent struggles, she does thoughtful little things to show that she cares. She has made efforts to address some of the issues we face on her end, but these changes often prove to be temporary. Additionally, she is participating in therapy in hopes of resolving her underlying problems. We do love each other. It would be painful to leave everything behind, but I have lately considered that it might be the right decision. Story 2. My ex dumped me yet goes on TikTok to say, I realize I am wrong, and if the universe allows it, will you take another chance? Now I'm stuck between wanting her back and fearing she'll drift away again. What should I do next? I am currently not in contact with my ex. I need advice regarding my situation. My ex had a crush on me 2 times. The first time was a year ago, then she tried to move on and started dating a boyfriend. After she broke up with him, she developed feelings for me once more. My ex ended our relationship after 3 months, stating that she had lost her feelings and believed she was not serious at all. She claimed she wanted a serious relationship before we entered the relationship. I noticed that she began to distance herself by texting me less and putting in less effort prior to the breakup. During the breakup, I did not plead or anything of that sort. I simply said, all right, that's fine, but could you provide me with clarity? Are you breaking up with me? I also made some playful jokes. The next morning, I discovered that she sent me a Snapchat, a snap she had shared with everyone. However, this indicates that she is not entirely cutting me off. After 3 days, she sent me 3 TikTok videos out of the blue. She had ended our TikTok streak by stopping the videos 1 day before the breakup. I simply reacted with laughter to one of the videos. A week later, we had to attend a school trip together since we are in the same class. When I returned home that day, I saw her TikTok story that read, "No, because unfortunately I failed to give my hairband to him." There were also notes on Messenger and Instagram stating, "I realize I was wrong and please do not hate me." The following day, she broke the no-contact rule by sending me pictures of myself taken by a friend using her friend's camera, even though I had not requested them and her friend could have sent them instead. I replied with a playful joke, and we exchanged messages. After that, it took her about a day to respond, so I stopped replying. I also discovered that she created a public saved collection on TikTok featuring videos that express regret, guilt, and a desire for me to return. He thinks I am going to date another guy after him, but he does not realize how much I will wait for him. Right person, wrong time. Does that mean they will come back at the right time? If the universe permits it, will you take another chance? One day, if you want to come back, find me, text me, or call me because I admit I ruined a good relationship, and I hope we can repair things and fall in love again. And many more TikTok videos. However, she deleted or made them private after a few hours, and I do not know why. I also found out that she created a playlist on Spotify titled Only Santa Heard My Apologies, accompanied by a photo stating, "I still love you," with the description, "I sang Fearless while thinking about you." Fearless is the iconic song she used to play when she had a crush on me, and the Santa reference is due to the fact that we met during Christmas. One day, her friend sent a snap featuring my ex and her friend joking about our situation. I felt extremely overwhelmed and annoyed, leading me to post a note on Messenger saying, "Just shut up already, oh my god." I believe she saw it, and hours later, she posted notes on Messenger and Instagram that read, "Feeding ego, and you do not even deserve me." She also reposted the TikTok video titled "Disappointment Can Change Our View of Someone." Subsequently, she unsaved the playlist she had created on Spotify. The next day, I responded to her previous message after several days. We exchanged messages, but on average, it took her around 2 hours to respond. After about 2 days, she replied to me within a minute and we had some rapid exchanges. I also made some playful, flirtatious remarks. However, I quickly concluded the conversation by saying, "I have to go, hit me up later." Days later, we had a farewell event at our school. She wrote in my yearbook even though I had not asked her to do so. She asked me to write in her yearbook, and I wrote a heartfelt letter that included, "I do not hold any grudge against you, so you can contact me if you need my help." She also offered to sign my shirt. I accepted and returned the favor by signing her shirt. Then I saw a note from her stating, "You always do things I do not like," along with TikTok reposts that read, "When you see something you are not supposed to see and now your mood is completely off." Perhaps she saw something that I am unsure about. As the days passed, I noticed that she started to distance herself. She seemed to be becoming more defensive, trying to dismiss or jab at me with her words. She stopped reposting about yearning and there were no new notes. There were girls who had crushes on me and I suspect my ex may have heard about it from somewhere. She posted a note saying, "Me jealous, big nope nope." Yesterday, a girl who has a crush on me secretly paid for my meal. Her friend mentioned it in front of me while I was talking about that girl. When I returned home, I noticed that my ex posted, "Only you guys like that," implying that I am someone she does not like or something similar. I want her to come back. I want to try again. I wish to be in a relationship with her again. I know she misses me and probably wants me back based on the clear signals she is sending out. However, she has neither reached out nor directly expressed to me that she wants me back. All I receive are breadcrumbs and hints to consider, like the playlist and TikTok posts. I do not think I should be the first to reach out, especially since she initiated the breakup and ended our relationship. I feel completely stuck, not knowing what to do. I am afraid she will drift away, but I am also concerned that she may not genuinely want me back and that I will end up in a situation where I am the only one putting in effort. What should I do? Should I reach out or should I wait? Should I send out loud signals or breadcrumbs again? In the meantime, I am trying to focus on myself by going to the gym, taking care of myself, and exploring new hobbies so that I am not solely fixated on her. In summary, my ex ended our relationship, claiming she lost her feelings. She sent me pictures of myself taken by a friend using her friend's camera 2 days later without me asking. A week after the breakup, we had some playful exchanges. She began sending strong signals using TikTok reposts, a public saved collection on TikTok, a Spotify playlist, and messages on Messenger and Instagram, which express regret, guilt, and a desire for me back. She seemed hurt or upset after I posted a note stating, "Just shut up already, oh my god," when I felt overwhelmed by her friend joking about our situation. Since then, she has started to become more defensive and dismissive while pulling back and ceasing the signals. Despite her expressing yearning signals, she has not directly told me that she wants to rekindle our relationship, nor has she reached out to me directly. I want her to come back. I wish to try again and resume our relationship. I believe she misses me and likely wants me back based on the signals she is sending out. Nonetheless, I do not feel I should reach out first, especially given that she ended our relationship. I feel completely uncertain about what actions to take. I worry that she will slip away, but I also fear she may not truly desire me back and that I may end up in a situation where I am the only one making an effort. What should I do? Should I reach out or wait? Should I send loud signals or breadcrumbs again? Meanwhile, I am focusing on self-care by going to the gym, managing my well-being, and picking up new hobbies to prevent my thoughts from solely revolving around her. Story 3. My boyfriend of 7 months and best friend for 6 years just told me I'm not ready for a relationship after an argument. I begged him to stay, but he hung up. Now I'm left wondering, how can someone who once made me feel so safe suddenly walk away? My boyfriend informed me that he no longer wants to be with me, and then mentioned that he is not prepared for a relationship. We have been friends for 6 years and have been in a romantic relationship for 7 months. He is the only person I have ever felt true love for, and he has not shown any signs of being distant or unkind. He has always treated me exceptionally well, and I have never felt unhappy with him. We initially met online through a video game, and a few years later we began attending concerts together as friends. Eventually, after about 2 years, I confessed my love for him. Even before we officially started dating, my feelings for him felt unique. Once, at a barbecue with some friends, he consumed too much to smoke and stayed near me the entire time because I made him feel safe. We even ended up cuddling at one of those barbecues. During our relationship, everything was fantastic. We live quite far apart, so we only spent weekends together, but those weekends always felt like a dream. We never argued, always communicated openly, consistently had engaging conversations, and the chemistry between us was undeniable. We enjoyed walks, shared moments sitting on benches watching ducks, cuddled while watching shows and movies, cooked together, built Lego sets together, and created many wonderful memories. The only issues arose from my emotional instability. I used to cry frequently, sometimes due to happiness, sometimes from sadness, and sometimes from being overwhelmed. I did not realize initially how this affected him, causing him to feel horrible and afraid to tell me as he believed he was the source of my pain. One week, he stayed home from school because he felt terrible. He revealed during the weekend that he thought it might be best for us to break up. However, after discussing it, he told me he actually did not want to end our relationship. He just didn't know how to handle the situation. This was 6 months into our relationship, and I gradually began to improve, which he noticed. Fast forward to this Wednesday, we had our first argument. He returned home and said he would be back shortly. I waited and waited. After almost an hour, I began to feel sad. I did not think to mention it had been too long, but I told him that it felt like he had forgotten about me, which made him sad and frustrated. For the first time, he responded with a harsh tone, asking, "Why are you saying this nonsense?" This worried me since nothing like that had ever happened before. We spoke about it later that same day, but I remained quite concerned. What I did not know is that we both just had a bad day, but I mistook it for something more serious. The next day, I had a medical appointment that required about 6 hours of bus travel since I do not drive. In the morning, I shared with him that I felt sad. He inquired whether it was due to the previous day's argument, to which I replied yes. After that, he did not respond for another 4 hours, leaving me feeling horrible. I expressed my feelings to him and asked him to reply, stating that he was the only person I could turn to for support in resolving these things. He said he was unsure how to respond to my feelings. The day following our argument, he told me that he loved me and would strive to communicate more. I asked him if he meant that, and he replied, "We will discuss it when you get home," followed by a yes. Upon returning home, he immediately called me. I answered and greeted him with, "Hi, honey," only for him to say that he no longer wanted to be with me. I pleaded with him to stay and assured him we could always resolve issues together, but he simply repeated no and then hung up. For the next 3 days, he did not respond to any of my messages or calls, although he did not block me anywhere, only unfollowing me on Instagram. I sent numerous messages and made many calls during the first 2 days, but then my mother took me aside for a few hours to talk and suggested that he just needed time. From what I shared with her, she did not believe he would leave me just like that, especially after a nice weekend. I also spoke with several friends, and they all conveyed similar sentiments, emphasizing that even though it would be painful, I needed to give him time. Therefore, I complied. I decided to book an appointment with a psychologist to learn how to better manage my emotions, aiming to improve myself for him. I would have sought help sooner if I had known the extent of the issue. I thought I could manage it independently and believed I was making progress. Today, I reached out to him, expressing my desire to talk, that I missed him, and that I had much to discuss and inquire about. He surprisingly responded, asking me to give him a moment and suggesting a call in 40 minutes. I apologized for what had happened a few days prior, acknowledging that he did not feel happy with me because of it, and informed him that I sought help to become better for him. He told me he did not blame me for anything, but it had simply become overwhelming. He then stated that he was not ready for a relationship and preferred to remain friends. I asked if he could envision being with me again in the future, and he replied that anything is possible, but he did not know. When I inquired if he would date anyone else, he immediately said no, and I trust him completely on that. He mentioned that he no longer felt that he loved me, but I find it hard to believe because he had been the same sweet person all along, and even stated that he deleted me on Instagram because it would hurt to see any of my posts. This makes me think he misses me but needs time to reflect on everything. I also asked him if he thought his feelings might change in about a month, to which he responded that he simply does not know. When I asked if he felt bad after our breakup, he affirmed that he did. He also played World of Warcraft for the entire day, which probably says a lot. I ended the conversation by telling him that I still love him and will always love him. I mean it. He is the only person I have ever loved, and I cannot imagine life without him. I assured him that I would give him all the space and time he needed to gather his thoughts, and that concludes our discussion. I still believe we will be together again, as I feel this was just too much for him, and he needs time. What can I do?